Namo Siddhanam. Jai Janendra, everyone. Welcome to JainRituals.com's 20th anniversary celebrations. As part of our 20th anniversary celebrations, we are having a series of events under the title called as Jain Heritage Festival 2022. And as part of this festival, we have been conducting a series of lectures on various themes related to Jainism and Jain heritage. And today's theme is Jain Rituals. And particularly the main topic of today's lectures are related to Jain rituals, of which the first of these sessions is related to the glimpses of Jain rituals in Tamil Nadu. Before we start, team, here is a quick overview about our organization and the website, which you can read through at a later date, about when it was founded, who were the founders, and other details. And as we move on, here is a quick overview about some of our achievements over the years. As you move on, see here, like we have been here for over 20 years, we having been serving the Jain community on various instances. And here's a quick glimpse of our activities that we have been doing over the years. And as we move on, here are furthermore details about our activities. And moving further, let me move on to the main theme or the main instance of this particular lecture, that is glimpses of Tamil Jain rituals. And we have Rajendra Prasad P. Jain sir from Chennai, who is a social activist and a very active person in the Jain community, and for us to give us a glimpse of the Tamil Jain rituals. And before we start, let me give a quick introduction about our speaker today. Like as we all know, Mr. Rajendra Prasad is a very popular person in the Tamil Jain community. And let's have a quick introduction about Rajendra Prasad sir. He is the managing director of Inel Power Systems Engineers Private Limited. And he's a person who's a native of Rajamannargudi in Tiruvallur district of Tamil Nadu. And by his profession, he's an electrical power testing and commissioning engineer who has traveled across India, Nepal, and the Middle East for over 35 long years. He is heading an electrical service providing company for 24 years, having 5 branches in India and 3 in the Middle East. He has handled 15 state electricity boards and major power corporations. He has trained more than 600 testing engineers and helped them grow professionally. Along with that, he has his professional membership with the Institution of Engineering and Technology UK, the National Safety Council India, Solar Energy Society of India, the National Chamber of Commerce, and so on. And when it comes to his professional credentials, he's an approved testing engineer by the Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, called as DEWA. He's an approved production engineer by Petroleum Development Corporation of Oman. He's an approved testing engineer for the Ministry of Electrical and Water Abu Dhabi Transmission, and also the Abu Dhabi Transmission Company. He's also an approved production commissioning engineer of Nepal Electricity Authority. In addition to this, apart from his profession, Rajendra Prasad sir is a very active person along the social, through his social activities, particularly along the Jain community. He is the convener of Sri Kunda Kunda Acharya Center of Excellence, which is, and he's also coordinated with the State Minority Commission and members, even before the according of the minority status and even after. Is also involved in creating awareness and obtaining many benefits of the minorities to the Tamil Jain community in Tamil Nadu. And he's also coordinated in getting the Jain minority certificate for more than 5,000 people till date. And like this, he's a very active person, and also like he's also part of the Sri Vishakacharya Taponilium related trust at Pannur Malai. I mean, when you look at the activities our Rajendra Prasad sir has taken up over the years, you will be really amazed by his professional stature as well as his activities that he's done as a social activist, particularly benefiting the Jain community. And it is really a honor for us to have such a person who is excelled in his profession, along with that, who is also been a social activist, being very active among the Tamil Jain community. Having said this, before Rajendra Prasad sir starts, just a quick thought here. See, many people, they, when we started working on the Jain Heritage series, and when we said we are going to have a series of lectures related to the Jain rituals, many of them said, how is it related to Jain heritage? See, one thing is very clear. They say a religion is or a language, and it will be a growing language or a growing religion only when we accept words from others, and only when we, and when it is a growing religion, a religion will be able to sustain only when it is able to adopt to the changes that happens in the society over a period of time. Having said this, the Tamil Jain community has its history for over 2,500 years, or even more than 2,500 years, and which has been reduced to a micro minority these days. In spite of all this, in spite of all the challenges over the centuries, the Tamil Jain community has been able to sustain by adapting itself to the challenges that it has gone through over the centuries. In spite of all that, it has also has its own set of rituals which are part of the Jain community, but owing to the local conditions, every religion will go through some changes from time to time. Maybe in terms of its it's mainly in terms of the rituals that they do and their day-to-day life. What happens is these rituals also form a part of our heritage, because Jainism, if we say it has to be a living religion, then yes, these rituals are equally important, which are also part of our heritage. That is why we wanted to have these sessions. Having said this, why are we having Rajendra Prasad sir here is because he is a practicing Jain, he is a Shravak who's been very active in the Tamil Jain community, and he being so active, he's the person who has experienced the rituals, or he's seen the rituals out of his own eyes. And it is always good to hear from them on what exactly are the rituals that are going on, that are being practiced by the Tamil Jain community. That is why we have Rajendra Prasad sir here. No, we could not find a better person than him, because a person who has been in the center of the entire Tamil Jain community and who has also seen and experienced it in his day-to-day life over the past several years. That is why we have him here. With this, I will, without taking much time, I'll let the stage over to Rajendra Prasad sir. Sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nitin. Could you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Jai Jainendra, thank you so much for the opportunity given. Particularly thanks to Mr. Nitin and team, the Jain Heritage Center. And definitely, I'm the follower of the Jain Heritage Center regularly. It is good that they are connecting people not only in Karnataka and the entire South and the entire India. And good evening, Jai Jainendra, to every participant in this meet. He briefed about me, my professional thing. But I entered this social arena only 12 years back. I'm only 12 years old as far as the social activities are concerned. But spending more time took me to this level. Okay. This why I got into this activities prior to 2008. I'm totally engulfed in my family and professional activities. Wherever I go and I tell the people I am a Jain and from Tamil Nadu, Tamil Jain, people look at me how you can be a Tamil as well as Jain. So they don't understand. Even the Jains living in other parts of India, they think that Tamil Nadu there are no Jains. So how can be a person speaking Tamil and be also a Jain? Secondly, the other 8 crore population of Tamil Nadu who speaking Tamil, they also do not know. The moment you say Jain, they think they are from the North India, particularly Rajasthan. They ask your mother is Hindi, are you from Gujarat or Rajasthan? Which hurt me really that it is not that it is their fault. Even the Tamil Jains, it is our fault also. We are not connected to the world. No, it's a small community and the limited access themselves. So this took me that okay, I took it as a challenge and entered doing the social activities. We started with the construction of a small temple in Chennai, Saidapet area. From there, I developed other activities, got into minority activities, then other involving in other trusts, particularly in the Ponnur, Malay Acharya Punpun. Okay, and my major achievement is the compilation of the Jain Temple Tour Guide. It was not available at one place. About 130 villages having a temple, but how to go, where to stay, where to get food. The people who come from North India or other parts of India, they may not be having a one go information. So I, along with Professor Dr. Kanaka Ajit, we worked together nearly. It took more than a year of continuous work, and we could finalize and release that tour guide in Mahamasthabhisheka in 2018 in Sravanabalagula. And that guide is the soft copy available in the majority of the Jain websites, and many pilgrimage tourists who are coming to Tamil Nadu, they are benefiting. Okay, that is one thing. And parallelly, we both started working on the heritage tour guide. The heritage locations in Tamil Nadu is more than 200, and by recording it, we could achieve about 70% of the work is over, and the rest we are planning to complete and release that. If that is released, then you will have the complete Jain locations, monument and temples in one go. That is the two major activities. Then we thought of actually this project, the Jain Rituals. I got into only a few months back, understanding the rituals and maybe practicing certain rituals, but documenting it. I searched, not much documentation done. This is all oral traditions, no documents available, either in our Tamil language or in English. And the people who practice it all are in the Sanskrit slokas, mantras, which people don't understand in the temple. It forced me to start collecting the information. I'm not a really good expert to talk about this subject, but I started collecting the information and just initiating this process. I feel the documenting this rituals in the written format, in the audio visual format, all kind of a digital format we must do. Otherwise, we may lose this tradition, such a old tradition. That took me to this level. At the same time, Mr. Nitin approached me that he wants to talk about this. Then I agreed for that, but it is only I'm also learning along with you, and whatever the information I could collect and whatever information I'm able to experience in the past 12 years, I'm going to record it, and in this regard, I'd like to share my PowerPoint presentation. Through that, I will explain. Mr. Nitin, it is 7:30 now. Should I stop at 8 or?
You can go on up to 8:15, sir. 45 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. The glimpse of Tamil Jain ritual, Tamil Samana Sadangugal or Parvai.
Sir, if you can put in presenting mode.
Presentation mode.
Sir, the way you did earlier, I think just that would be better, sir. Earlier, what you did was good, sir.
Okay. Presentation view. This is okay?
This is perfect, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So just Tamil prayer. Start with the Tirukural. Agara Mudala Eduthellam Adi Bhagavan Mudatrey Uladu. Acharya Kunkun. I bow to the Supreme Bhagavan Adinath, the first guru who taught the present universe, the alphabets and the numerals to begin the civilization. Acharya Kunkun Dev's Tirukural. See this again, whatever I explained during my initial talk, that Tamil Jains are the forgotten community by all India Jains, as a follower of the same faith as a Jain and as a follower of the Tirtha Nirvani. Secondly, the forgotten community by all Tamils, connected by the language, the oldest living language of the world, which got the classical language status because of its antiquity, the post-Sangha literatures written by the Jain Acharyas. And there are a lot of evidences to prove this. They also do not know our presence today. That made me to look into the social activities. The Tamil Jains are called as Samana, the followers of Samana cult. We are minorities and marginalized. Minority, the population less than 30,000, living in 130 villages and towns other than Chennai. And majority of them, almost 90% are living in this 5 districts. And the earlier, most of them were involved in the agriculture activity, but last few decades saw the migration to the city, Chennai capital, which resulted in the better education and employment opportunities, through which the economic status of the Tamil Jains are improved in the last 3 decades. So why today, once the religion was so popular, and today why it has come to this level? The oldest living faith of the land, the records, whatever the past historical records says the 3rd century BC, proof are available, the existence of the Tamil Jains and the Munis. Marginalized due to the aggression of the Vedic religions like Saivites in 7th century, Vaishnavites in 10th century, Islam in 12th century, Christianity in 16th. So these all 4 major jolt to the religion, which resulted in what we are today. Okay. This in this 15th century saw the savior to our community in the form of Acharya Virasena, who brought the defunct Jinakanchi Mutt in Kanjipuram, shifted it to Menjitamur, the present location near Chenji, and revived the Bhattarak Parambara, who is the head of Tamil Jains, without whom we would not have been here today to speak in. Okay, you could have read only in the history books our presence. We could have been extinct without whom. So we are really grateful and thankful. 2 decades ago, there is another mutt started and doing, which is under the guidance of Swasti Sri Tavlakirti Bhattarak Swamigal, who is heading the mutt, who is also guiding this work spiritually, and a lot of social activities are happening. Okay. Like why this religion? Every religion in the world evolved because of certain thinkers of the respective time, looking at the sufferings of the people and mankind. Whereas the Jainism address the suffering of not only the human mankind, it also given it also sends the sufferings of all living beings from one sense plants to the 6 sense humans. The 3 major philosophy principles of Jainism, you can say it is very unique, like the Ahimsa, Parikaraja, I do not want to go into detail because everyone aware of it. The non-violence by not only deed, by thought and word also, the non-attachment, the many-sidedness of the religion, so accepting others' views. See, why rituals? When it comes to that Jainism, people ask, the Jainism talks about soul, the Anma, and attaining the moksha. Then why the rituals are required? Because most of the rituals are practiced by body, all are physical performance. Why? Everyone aware and accept that the science theory not limited to the classrooms, that it's all taught not limited to the classroom. It is also there are practical sessions happening in the laboratory to understanding it better. Likewise, the rituals, the same way the rituals are like a practical session in the temple and in the personal life even to understand the philosophy better practice and elevate the soul to the point of no rebirth, attaining the state of Siddha. So the rituals also important for keeping alive the tradition and the religion. So for this talk and for the documentation purpose, I'm making the rituals into 2 categories. One followed in the temples, the another one in the private life of individuals. Okay, we'll start with the temple rituals. How this started. The temple rituals generally guided by the material available, which from the supreme, the eminent acharyas. In the South India, they follow the Pradishta Tilaka, composed by Acharya Nemi Chandra Deva in the 13th century CE, who believed to have traveled from Tirumalai in Tamil Nadu, present Tamil Nadu, because those days there was no Tamil Nadu or Karnataka. So the Sravanabalogala, he traveled to Sravanabalogala and who believed to have established the motto over there. He has written that Pratishta Tilaga, even all the priests, they follow the work for Panchakalyana and all other rituals happening in the temple, which got repeated in 1992 in Kolhapur, edited by Monik Chandji, published by Goswami. But in Tamil, there is no information available except for one Saivite scholar. He is a famous historian, Dr. Nagasami. He had written brief commentary of the book. It is available in the internet. So without which there are no not any material available in the Tamil or in English. The people who practice also, they by hearsay only, they follow the rituals in the temples. Okay. But the last 3 decades are the difference. The earlier, the most of ritual followed in the temples related to daily puja, abhishek, vidhi, vidhan, all were in Sanskrit and Hindi, which got translated into many thanks to Jambu Kumar, Jambu Kumar and Sastri, Ji, K.V. Ajidas, Ji, Malinath Jain Sastri, Simachandran Jain Sastri. There are many others who did this mammoth translation task, which resulted in the common Shravak, any general, to understand the puja vidhi vidhan and do it on their own. So today there is a lot of change happening in Tamil Nadu. The many temples people started doing. That is one more reason is the paucity of the temple priest vadiyas. Why documentation of rituals is essential today? The temple priests are called vadyas in Tamil, means guru or teacher. Like our population, Jain population diminishing, their population also diminished over the years. So we have around 130 temples, but their population is less than 50% of the numbers, and who can authoritatively knowing all the rituals are among them very few. And most of them got trained by their forefathers by practice and verbal instruction, no proper document available. When I'm talking to the Vadyas who are well versed in the rituals, even they are not able to give any kind of a document. They all say these are all the verbal tradition, it got passed on to the next generation. So today, they also got migrated to cities for economic welfare and change their profession like others. So we may lose this tradition if you don't act now and preserve it in the documentation in written, audio, video formats to benefit the generations to come. Otherwise, we may lose. Okay. In general, the daily morning, the Abhishek Puja done by Vadyas in the temples, and as I told earlier, the paucity of Vadyas availability, and availability of Tamil text made others also to do. In many temples, it's limited to the Jal Abhishek, like water is pure water drawn from the borewell, filtered, heated up, filtered again for the Abhishek. And some temples, they use the milk, other Panchamrita Abhisheka. In few temples, the simple special puja is performed on particular day of all the Panchakalyana day of all 24 Tirthankaras. Special puja are conducted. In some temples, it is limited to the Mulnaik, the presiding deity, Tirthankara of the temple. The last 20 years, many sadhu sadhvis also coming to Tamil Nadu, doing Chadurmas. This all started with Acharya Sri Nimbal Sagarji, which continued, and Acharya Sri Virag Sagar, Acharya Sri Devanandi Sagar Sangh, and all, they stayed in Tamil Nadu. Acharya Sri, now the present Acharya Sri Arjuna Sagar, he did 10 Chadurmas. Muni Sri Vishwesagar did almost 12 Chadurmas. So which resulted, involving more people into the kind of rituals, understanding the seva to be done to these sadhus and the Shravak Dharma. And they also insist Shravaks to do puja on their own and understand for their well-being, their purifying their heart. The morning puja abhishek done, in the evening the Deeparthi and Ashtamangalam Aarti also done. Slowly that is being discontinued in many temples. because of the paucity of Vadya. Okay. The Panchakalyana, it's connected with the events that take place in the lives of the Tirthankaras. The 5 days ritual performed in the new built temple or the renovated temples on the install the Tirthankaras there. The procedure is to make the stone idol as a worshipable Bhagavan and give prawn to the Murti. So how the ordinary human being becoming a god by explaining their life events of the Tirthankaras to make us understand and take that path. And it is customarily celebrated in once in 12 years. The same rituals are conducted, the Panchakalyana conducted even in the temples which Pradishta done to pass on this message to the next generation. We supposed to be the one generation is 12 years gap. So the next generation understand the 5 Kalyanas of the Tirthankaras so that they also take that path. It is similar to the one conducted in the Hindu temples. They call it Kumbhabhisheka once in 12 years. Next. Screen sharing. Okay. The Garbha Kalyana, the last incarnation as a prince is setting to the soul from higher heavens into the womb of the mother Tirthankara, the 16 dreams of the mother, then the Janma Kalyana, Diksha Kalyana, the initiating into asceticship and achieving the omniscience by Keval Kalyana, Moksha Kalyana, all these things. I do not want to go into detail, but this all the 5 days Panchkalyanas happening. And the last 20 years saw many temples renovation and Panchakalyana in Tamil Nadu. That is one good thing. More than 60 temples got renovated and Panchakalyana done in the last 20 years. Those temples are the Panchakalyana not done for more than 5-6 decades because of the economic condition of the people. They could not do the renovation and Panchakalyana. But the last 20 years, many temples doing the Panchakalyana. Okay. See, after the Panchakalyana, they look at the major festivals, Diwali. And I would like to mention one thing here. The temple rituals are not much difference to what is happening in Karnataka and other parts of India. Most of the rituals are same except a few. Like in Diwali, almost the Parinirvan Puja, all are the same, similar to what is happening in other parts of India. But we avoid using the Laddu Puja generally done by North Indian Jains because that also attract the Himsa. We use the rice powder and mixed with the jaggery, made it as a form of a light lamp. It's called Maavilak, which attracts less Himsa. So generally the Tamil Jain temples, they don't do the Laddu Puja on the Diwali day. Instead, they use this Maavilak. They put in that and light up a lamp in the mix. So this is one unique thing. Next, and they take the Mahavir Janma Kalyana, the Mahavir Jayanti day, the 24th Tirthanga Mahavir is celebrated by all over the globe and taking processions apart from doing puja in the temple and organizing spiritual discourses, another medical camps, etc. The Mahashivratri commemorates the liberation day of the Jinna Rishabhadeva Adinada. And Akshay Tridiya commemorates the day when the first Jinna Rishabha received the Agardan. allowed him to break 1 year fasting. The fresh sugarcane juice offered to the Muni idol in the temple. The temple which we are looking at is the Saidapet. The Mool Naik is Madhavet Bhagwan. And few temples, they take Mool Naik in the procession. Also, they do procession in the temple like Agalur, which is nearer to Senji. They take the metal idols on they take a procession around the village. This Nandiswar Ashthanika Parva Puja, it's also the same way what they conducted the 3 times in a year, observed for 8 days, the Ashad, Palgun and the Kartika, from Amasa, Ashtami, the 8th day of the Amasa till the Purnami, the full moon day. It's conducted. People take 1 time food or 2 times food, avoiding anything in between. So these 8 days ritual are almost similar, and whatever the puja we conduct is all now done in Tamil. So people understand the ritual and do the puja. The Selection Parva, also known as Paryushan, it's a most important annual holy event happen in the Chadurmas of all the Muni Bhagavans and Matajis. Okay, this generally happens in the month of August or September. 10 days for our Digambara sect and 8 days for the Svedambara sect that everyone aware of. Every day, each day, we glorify the guna of soul, the character of the soul, like forgiveness, humility, straightforwardness, contentment, truth, and soul restraint, austerity, charity, non-possessiveness, celibacy, etc. This 10 gunas, the puja done elaborating the about 10 qualities of the soul in the temple, so that the people understand it and elevate their soul to that level. The spiritual discourses are arranged in the evening for all the 10 days, wherein Shravaks are eagerly participate and understand from the Shastri. The final day, the festival ends with the forgiveness day, Shamawani. The people ask each one pardoning their whatever the mistake or whatever harmful they have done to others, any creatures. They seek and they also forgive, give and seek. So these all rituals, as I told you, that this is the Jinakanchi Jain mud, one of the 4 muds established in the 4 directions across India to protect the religion and its people after aggression by the Vedic religions. So Sri Lakshmi Jain Bhattar, the head of Tamil Jain, all major festivals, including the Panchagajana Pratishtha and the temples. He visit the Bhattarak visits the villages regularly, meet the community people and discuss with them the welfare of the community and the temple. They also receive kind and cash from them to be able to run the mud and do the activities. They recently done the renovation of the Chariot, which was almost 150 years old. There is multifunctional constructed for the use of mud and private. This is about the mud. So this is one of the unique function. You can see such a mammoth chariot, Radhotsav. There are 10 days Brahmotsav done in Melchittamur and a few other villages also, like Alagramam, Karandi, Tripunamur, Mannargudi, and 7 days in Tirunarangunda. On the 7th day, the Mahavir Jayanti day, the big car chariot festival taken for procession. It happens once in a year. I don't think similar Radhotsav happening anywhere in India. This is a very unique festival where more than 5,000 people participate in the event. Okay. The other religious observations, like they call it Nombu or Vradam in Tamil, the important parvas. So they do Abhishek and Ashtadravya Puja and fasting, sometimes fasting or taking one-time meal and doing reciting Namokar Mantra Jap multiple times and reading scriptures and all on the this parvadis. The important one, the Tirtha Nombu, I do not know whether on the full moon days, generally the women folk take this Nombu Vrat, and every Paurnami day they take only one time food, and one Paurnami to the next Paurnami, they recite one Tirthandra name, start with Adinath Bhagavan 5 times, and take every food. Every day, before taking a food, they chant the name of the Tirthandra for that 1 month. Like 24 months, they continue. And the majority of the women take this Tirtha Nombu. I do not know whether such breath there in other part of India. And this Chadurtasi Ashtami, the 14th day of fortnight and 8th day of the fortnight, are chosen for taking fasting and do these special activities in the Jinalayas. So any vrad they take on the end of the vrad, it's called the Udyapana. When the conclusion day, on the completion of that vrad, it is performed. And they distribute, they publish a book, spiritual books, and distribute to the fellow Jains, and take certain vows for the lifetime. Even though it is very common that there is a must that we should not eat after sunset. The migration of people to the cities are many of the rituals discontinue. So they again take this vow, like not taking anything after sunset and avoiding all kind of utensils and avoiding eating outside food. And other festivals like Saraswati Puja, the Tamil New Year, Pongal, the festival of agriculture, also celebrated the Kartigai Deepam, the Kartigai month beginning. So the festival, all those things are, this most of them are the rituals. If you look at from outside, it looks like Hindu rituals, but if you understand the mantras chanted there, all are praising the Tirthandras and the gunas of the Tirthandras, and make us understand and follow. It is all the mantras are different from maybe the ritual, the practical rituals are similar to the Hindu. Like the worship of Yaksha Yakshi. Probably this is also believed to have been practiced since the evolution of the idol worship, like Tirthandra idol worship when started, and it mostly aligned with similarity with the Karnataka and the majority religion divisions. And the majority of the people worship Yaksha Yakshi, seeking prosperity in their personal life. And there are few major festivals like Adivelli, Navaratri. Particularly the Adivelli time, 4 or 5 Fridays, a lot of people bypass and other ways they and Yanarbura Jalamalni. To name few important centers for Yaksha Yakshi in Tamil Nadu are Manargudi, Jolamalni Amman, Isa Kolathuri, and Ilangadu Dharmadevi, Vidukam and Velimedupete, Padmavati Amman, Padma, and Mil Atipakam Brahmadeva. Okay. Now we are ending the temple rituals I am taking up the personal life related rituals. Not a single text available explaining the personal life related rituals. The oldest texts available for both temple and personal life related were the Adi Purana life history Sarida of the Rishabhnath as per Mahapurana written by Acharya Jainasena in 9th-10th century. As if that Bharata Chakravarti, the son of Rishabhnath, is narrating the happenings. That format he made the Acharya Jainasena, and he could complete only the Rishabhnath Tirthankara's history of Rishabhnath. And the balance 23 Tirthankaras were completed by Acharya Gunabhadra, called as Uttara Purana, during the Rashtrakoot King Amavarsha. The text of Adi Purana, there are about 57 Kiryas in the personal life from birth to death, which is now available in the Sanskrit Hindi, but not in Tamil or English. So we don't have much information, but thanks to our Professor Dhanya Kumar, editor of our Mukudai monthly magazine, who brought out a brief write-up on the subject, some 7-8 pages, from the birth to till the marriage in Tamil, for the reference available for my in my search. Whatever, I could not get any other reference. With the whatever the reference from Mr. Dhanya Kumar and talking to the Vadyars and other Shastrijis, I could get this and whatever my personal experience. Okay, we'll start with the Valaikapu, a woman-centric celebration for the expecting mother. The 5th or 7th or 8th month of the pregnancy, they conduct this Valaikapu. They put Valai means bangle. They put a bangle on and distribute the mixed rice, variety of mixed rice to all the guests. The Edam Kapu, after the childbirth, the 7th day of the childbirth, they celebrate with the relatives, and they put a small glass bangles, black color bangles on the born baby, newborn baby, and there is a bracelet on the waist by the Erican plant. That's called Erikachedi Nar, the fiber. They made of that bracelet made of Erican plant is put on the baby, and they distribute the. It's one of the unique item. The rice, raw rice, soaked into a jaggery, mixed with the jaggery, and give it to the guest. The 30th day Grahasuddhi, the Punyavasanam. The Punyavasanam means the cleansing the home, and conducted by the Vadyar at the at a individual's house, creating a spiritual fire homam in the presence of the family members. See, the 90th day they put Namakaranam and Totil, the naming and the cradling ceremony, again conducted by Vadyar, chanting Panchaparameshtis, Ratnatraya Archana at home. Elders of the family select the name to be given to the baby, newborn baby, and put the baby in the cradle, and they call the baby with the name selected. Mostly the tradition goes like this. They generally pick up the name of the grandfather or the grandmother who already died. They take that name to have remembering them. They keep the name of the grandfather and grandmother. Next is the Kadu Kuttudal. That the Kadu Kuttudal means ear piercing. This is done for the both boy and girl, adorning the child with the earrings, conducted before completion of 1 year. Either they do it at the 1st year or 3rd year or the 5th year. When they do, they cleanly shave the head also. The first time they do the clean shaving of the head, and the ceremony is mostly performed at two temples, the famous temple, one in Arpakam near Kanjipuram, where Bhagavan Rishabhanath there, or at Tirunarangundram Hill, where Bhagavan Parshanathar worshipped as Apandai. The most Tamil Jains visit these two places, or at some people conduct this function at home. Again, the all guests are offered the soaked red rice mixed with the jaggery paste as a special dish. This is known as a coppers. Okay. Akshara Abhyasam, the writing letters for the first time. This happens at the age of 3 or 5 before sending the child to the school. The child brought to the temple, and the Vadyar conducts the Abhishek Puja, then make the child to write on the plate spread with the paddy or rice. First they write the Om Namah Siddhebhyaha, then the alphabets in Tamil. The 13th year, the Paradesam, the man goes out. In the olden days, they go out for studying in Gurukul, like in Sravanbalgola and Melchittamur. There used to be a tradition that people go to Sravanbalgola and Melchittamur regularly to attain the path of spiritual progress, which is not happening nowadays. People are going for the studies to progress in the life, economical life, the present life, not the spiritual life. The Upadesam is conducted, the formal induction into the religious practices, by putting them on the Ponul, the Eknobhavidam. This is done and woman age of 18 years, taught the Namokar mantra on each one's ears, Dharma Upadesam. One has to follow the same with vigor and seriousness after Upadesam, chanting Gayatri mantra similar to the one Brahmins conduct. And then after, the men should wear the sacred thread. And it is generally conducted by the male Chittamur, Swasti Sri Lakshmi Sen Bhatta. Then this is for the girls, the pupae, the girls attaining puberty, marking the start of the menstrual cycle reproductive system. On that day and subsequent few days, traditional music and Adasram Tawil are played in the house. Every household prepares sweet food items and offer to the girl who come of age. Generally, the sweet items made of rice flour, jaggery, called. The parents of the girl are greeted. Generally, used to tell the people when they go to their house, they call, "Oh, glad you have become a grandmother or grandfather to the father of the girl." The special Omam spiritual fire similar to the Metatria is performed in the house. The Avni Avitam, Eknobhavidam, or the Punul Anidal. This is in commemoration of the Emperor Bharat Chakra Bharata, acknowledging the true scholars by giving them the sacred thread. This is happening in the temple on the Avanam Avitam's day. I think this is unique to the South India tradition. I don't think in the North India, they don't follow this tradition. So the Abhisheka Archana done on the Santinath Bhagavan. The devotees come to the temple chanting Abrajita mantra for 108 times. After final arati, priest give that punul to all the Sravaks and tell the story of Bharat Chakravarti, how he identified the Anuradhis and Pradimadaris, and how one should follow that tradition. And special mantra recited before removing the old sacred thread and a new one placed before. Okay. It comes to the next comes to the marriage. The marriage gives importance to both family life and asceticism. And why family? Because people say the Jainism promotes asceticism. Then why the marriage? The one has to enter the family life through marriage and live life as prescribed in the scripture, follow Ratnatraya Puja, and fulfillment, support the ascetics, and renounce the worldly affair to become ascetics, then attain the path of moksha. The marriage day among the Jains are not the same throughout India, and it varies with the communities, regions, and time to time. Outwardly, the marriages resemble into marriage our mantra chanted are the Jaina. No Brahmin priest, instead there is a Samana temple priest called Vadyar who conducts the ceremony. And even though Jainism propagates karma theory, the astrology, they believe in astrology, most of the matchmaking, fixing of groom and bride is done on the astrology basis, on agreement both sides. The Vadyar fixes the auspicious day for writing invitation and marriage day. Generally, the dowry system not there. The olden days it happens for the 3 to 5 days, but nowadays it is reduced to 1 day ritual. I'm just taking the 3 days ritual for understanding. The Pandakal Nadadal is the erection of the wooden pole at the marriage venue to mark the beginning of the marriage ritual. It's done by the Vadyar with the 9 women applying the turmeric paste Kunkuma mandal. And the olden day they used to put even the precious stone under that pit which created for erecting the log. And Navadanyas. Today they put only Navadanyas, 9 varieties of cereals in the pit. Few marriages they also conduct Nalanga, applying turmeric paste on the bride and grooms at their respective places, applying Magandi and all. Second day, Grahayaknam making Pandal, the temporary shed facilitate the Vajuras, and Manapandal marriage days all created on the on evening Sambandham Kalathal. It is kind of a betrothal, inviting both side family members, and they exchange their views and agreeing. This ritual also conducted by the Vadyars, and both side people get interact, the family members interact among themselves for better understanding. The third day marriage day, the morning again Muntram called Nadal. This time they put a bamboo stick with 11 notes installed in the days where exactly the Mangal event takes place. The Sthapana of polygamy in the 9 cereals soaked in a water and in a small mud pot by 5 women, which will be at the end of the ritual sold on the soil. Here the Avbhashana means a yagna fire. It's created for cleansing the place and creating auspicious environment. Is done for 7 to 9 times during the 3 days function. Again, the chanting the sacred thread from 6 threads, which symbolize the exit of brahmacharyam from 3 thread to 6 thread, is put on the groom. The Paradesam Poda, the groom in the morning, he goes out of the village outskirts and say that I'm going to Sravana Balabala. So this is actually chanted in every marriage. The groom says that I'm going to Sravana Balabala for studying Agam Vedam Shastris and take it to Brahmacharya, whereas the bride's father goes and requests him that no, don't go now. I give my daughter for marriage. So get married, then maybe the later date you can. So then the groom returned to the venue. That is the first time. The Mugha Darshanam is the bride and groom meeting for the first time. But nowadays it is not happening. They see even much before that. Their faces are revealed to each other by removing the screen kept in between them. Vadya tells the bride and groom to repeat the name of Godram and name of their forefathers at least 3 generations, and confirms the marriage and live life as prescribed in the scriptures. Okay. Kanganam Kattidal. See, the thread used for binding the bride and groom during the Mugha Darshanam, we used to tie knot on the wrist by one another. This confirms their commitment stay till all rituals are completed, and there are no external events don't affect them either good or bad till completion of the ritual. This is Patam Kattudal, the gold strip tied on the forehead of both bride and groom by their maternal uncles first and followed by the paternal aunt uncle. It is to confirm their blessings and support to the marriage. I think this is also a unique one. I don't think whether it's followed in other parts of India. The Mangaliam, this is the main important function. The sacred thread, the yellow thread garlanded with 14 other auspicious kept on the plate, circulated to all present in the venue for their blessings by keeping their hand. Then Vadiyar goes around, take that blessings and give it to the groom for tying on the bride's neck. Three knots symbolizing the Ratnatraya to the bride, which was assisted by the groom's sister. The people put Akshadai rice mixed with the turmeric given to all elders for offering as part of blessing the couple. The Nadasuram, the traditional musical instruments are played for the entire 3 days function. On completion of tying Mangalsutra, the groom put silver ring in the right index toe of the bride, which implies the married woman. Bride's brother giving offering whatever the popular rice put in the yagna are generally given by the bride's brother. The groom returns, put a golden ring as a token of affection gift to the brother of bride's brother. This is one unique function. After completion of this main marriage function, they immediately after a gap of 1 or 2 hours, they conduct Nagavali Muhurtam. Definitely it is not, I don't think it is there in any other parts of India. The 9 Sumangali ladies are, take 9 various auspicious material in the hand and goes 9 rounds of the yagna conducted by, along with the bridegroom, again, to clear off all kind of doshas. This, the end of the marriage with this Tirati Muhurtam, Rudu Santi, the Sidana, what are the gift given to the bride to groom, setting up their home. This is of the Parkum Panam Tirupudal. This is also a unique one. When the invitation distributed to the uncles, the maternal and paternal uncles, they give money. So those days it used to be 1 rupee. Nowadays maybe 100 rupees or 500 rupees. Along with the invitation they give, the uncles, they return that money during this ritual in the venue. That money, whatever money they receive, they will be returning it. The Paligi Visarjanam, that whatever the Navadanyas, the soaked Navadanya, sowed it on the soil by the bride and groom. So then comes to this Kalyana Vault. They keep, they sit both the bride and groom. The Vadiyar sing the songs in praise of the Tirthangaras and Tirthangra Guna, the character of Tirthangaras, Yaksha Yakshis, which is joined by other elders and others. They also bless the couple. There are number of poetry. The poems are, the songs are there written, the Kalyana Vault, and there are a lot of even the written books also available on this. This goes for even half an hour to 1 hour. The next comes at the end of the marriage ritual. Then the pilgrimage. Most of the people goes to North India for the most preferred Samesh Shigarji, Pavaburi, Chambaburi, Jain, and all, where all 24 Tirthangaras attained moksha. In southern India, Shravan Balagala, Umcha, Dharmasthala, Venur, Kartala, Simanagati, in Karnataka, Ponurmalai, Memchittamur, Tirumalai, Arpaka, Mandal, and other village temples. The heritage tourism picked up in last few years, advent of thanks to Ahimsa work, which created awareness to be able to make the Jaina heritage monuments like hills, cave shelters, stone beds in Krishna. The people also started going to this, visiting these places and worshipping. So there is a real awareness created on this subject. I do not know other part of India whether similar things are happening. See, when this is one Porimavu, it has to be mentioned here. When people goes on pilgrimage, our forefathers, they don't take food outside any shops or hotels. Generally, they carry this Porimavu. It is a rice, dry, fried rice powder take jaggery, add water or milk, and take all 3 times only. So till they return, they don't take food outside. So this purimav only they take. So generally the others, other people living in the villages, other than they call Jains as a purimav group, the religion of purimav. They by sarcastically they comment on us. I don't know this dish is available in anywhere. The personal pilgrimage. Then finally comes to the funeral rites. This funeral rites also mostly goes with the, it's copied from the Hindu traditions. The first day, generally it's cremated by the fire. The second day is they offer milk. Some nowadays it's happening on the same day also at the venue itself. The after in the one important ritual, again this is also conducted by Vadyas, standing a little away from the fire, and the chanting mantras. And in the mantra, he tells that the person, however he died, he says that he's a Jain and he took it to the Salegana, he attained a Samadhi Maran by reciting the same verse. This tradition there, this is happening continuously for all the death. The after the ashes are collected and put in disposed in the water courses. On the 16th day, 10th day of the 16th day ceremony done. But the annual remembrance, the Tithi, like Hindu, we don't practice the Tithi, no festivities to celebrate this time. It is increasingly we follow the 10th day ceremony. Now the people discontinue the 10th day ceremony like Vedic tradition, and simply they conduct Shanti Homa at home or in the temple. The sacred thread, the deceased wife of a person remove the sacred thread on the 8th day and denounce wearing of all kind of ornaments. Of late, that tradition also nowadays discontinued. They all wear all kind of ornaments. Not all, few of them. The rigor of following certain traditional procedures course conducts nowadays are, it's not it's diluted, not only in the religious and the household rituals.
Sir, we cannot hear you. Rajendra Prasad, sir, we cannot hear you. Hello?
Shastri, this.
Sir,
yeah.
Sir, we could not hear you over the past 30 seconds, sir. The last conclusion, if you could please repeat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's got it. Yeah. It is only requesting whatever. I have not gone into the detail of each ritual, which really needs researching on it, collecting the documents and documenting it to the level of universities and colleges. Now, Madam Priyadarshana also in this talk and take up for research study of these rituals. And I'm requesting with the folded hands to the Bhattarak, Shastrijis and Pandits to document whatever the form it is available and preserve it for the future generation to follow. Otherwise, slowly we all forget. We'll become extinct religion in the future. Thank you so much for hearing patiently for about 1 hour. And thank you, Mr. Nitin and Jain Rituals Center. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening lecture. I think when we started about this conversation about Rajendra Prasad sir presenting about the Tamil Jain rituals, he was very hesitant, where he said, I'm not a scholar who's read the Jain Agamas, or nor am I a Vadiyar or a priest. How can I? Our intent was very clear. A social activist like him, who's been very active with the Jain community, he cuts across people of all sections of the society, and that is why we wanted to have him. I think, like what he mentioned, yes, we don't have any written literature about the Jain rituals of any region across India. That is a well-known fact. In spite of all that, this is an attempt to understand the rituals that are there and set the ball rolling and let the community start thinking around documenting these rituals. Otherwise, over a period of time, we end up losing it. Like a lot of the Jain Agamas, what we have lost, probably we don't want to lose our rituals as well in the long run, so as to ensure we are able to pass on the message, pass on the rituals practiced by the Jain community locally in different parts of India. That is the whole intent of having this. And all these things, whatever we have heard from Rajendra Prasad sir with additional details, with the Jain references, will also be published in the form of a book, all the collections of all these lectures, so that we take it forward to the next generations. And thank you so much, Rajendra Prasad sir. I think I feel you are one of the best persons, and I really echo that. I've been receiving some messages from few of the people as well, because you have clearly documented what are the day-to-day rituals that are performed by Tamil Jains, and some of the unique ones which are very unique only to the Tamil Jain community. I think this is very much required, and thank you so much again for such an enlightening lecture, sir. Namo Siddhanam. Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra.